in English. We are in a chat live in a workshop where we will learn the rib stitch, punto elástico en español. Look, for both sides is the same, the rib stitch. In this week, I showed you the basic stitches of knitting. You can watch these workshops that are here on my live. At the end, I will let you the links to on the comments and on the description box. So today I will make the rib stitch. The rib stitch is the combination of the knit stitch. Look, this is the knit. And the purl is in the back. Look. One knit, one purl stitch. When the yarn of the beginning is in the right side, to me, this is the front of the work. Look, here where I made the cast on, the stitches are like canoten. For this, to me, this is nice. It's nicer. In the back, look, are like lines. You can use both sides, claro, sure. But to me, this is nice. So today I will show you how you can begin to make the rib stitch. The rib stitch we use in waistbands, in sweaters, in vests. You can make one blanket or one scarf with this fantasy stitch. Okay, it's not so a fantasy stitch in knitting, but is one of the basic stitches in knitting. Look, it's very nice. So this we will make today, and the next week I will make this is the garter stitch. Punto Santa Clara en español, garter stitch. I have my channel too in Spanish. So yesterday I made this workshop. For both sides are the same. This stitch is special to make blankets, scarves. It's very nice and easy to make. We use only the knit stitch. Look, between the purl stitch, that is this canot, we have the knit stitch. So today I will show you with this another yarn, we will make the rib stitch. En español, punto elástico. Thank you for your like. We are in live. And I will show you the rib stitch. It's very easy and you will see. Hello, my dear ghost. Thank you to be here. Thank you for your like, and we begin. So I will make the pattern with 20 stitches. How I calculate the yarn for 20 stitches? Look, we involve 20 times the yarn over the needle. This needle is super dun or teeny, maybe 3,50 millimeters. Here say 325. The yarn is a little teeny, so we will make. Hello, my dear Alpa. Thank you. Thank you for your like too. I will calculate for 20 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 y 20 times the yarn over the needle. We let some centimeters more and we catch here the yarn that we calculate. We make out the yarn of the needle And here we help us with the hand of the left. Hello, my dear Babana. Thank you to be here and thank you for your like. Okay, we cut the yarn here with the little fingers, with these two, and with the pulgar and índice. This is in Spanish, you must know in your language. Pulgar and índice. We will make from the center, look, this is my technique. We make inside of this big loop, we bring the yarn to the front or the needle, and from the left, look, izquierda en español, left, we will make a big loop now. And inside of this loop, we will bring the yarn of the right side. With the needle, we bring to the center, look. And now I have 2 stitches. You must repeat always, try to practice every day and you will get it. Okay, now the needle to the front, left, the big noodle, or Bisachs this is German, sorry, loop, a big loop. And inside of this loop, we bring the yarn of the right. And we pull, not so tight, not so loose, please, okay? Left, right, and in the center. Izquierda, derecha, al centro. Izquierda, derecha, al centro. This workshop will stay here, so you can repeat the times that you prefer for that you can learn. Look, the needle in the front, left, right, in the center. Izquierda, derecha, a la aguja. Needle, aguja en español. Izquierda, derecha. I will make 20 stitches. Look how when you learn, you will make quickly, like me. Left, we make a big loop. Inside of this loop, we will bring the yarn of the right. We can count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, and 20. 20 stitches. I will make a little more. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I have 24 stitches. Thank you for your like. Now I will make the rib stitch en español punto elástico, okay? We learn knitting, crochet, and Spanish here on my channel. Subscribe you and activate the bell to receive the posts when I have my workshop or patterns too here on my channel. Thank you very much for your like. Okay, we must make 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl until that we finish the row. I will repeat here how we make the knit stitch, okay? The first stitch from the left to the right, we insert. We bring the yarn, the long yarn, we bring in the center of the needles, and look how I catch the yarn with my fingers. And this new yarn will be the new stitch. So we back the needle and we catch this yarn. And this goes out. This is the knit stitch. To make the purl stitch, we will make the, I will, if you have this problem, you will make again the last. This needle has is for the circle, for making circle of to make the waistbands. So I will repeat, left to right, the yarn into the front, we back the needle until catch the stitch. To make the purl stitch, we will make yarn in the front, from the right to the left, we involve the needle and we back, and we will make the needle out of the stitch, and this is the new stitch, and this go out. This is the purl. To make the knit, we must have the yarn into the front or in the back. So knit, purl, yarn into the back, we make the knit, yarn in the front to make the purl. Purl stitch, punto revés en español, knit stitch, punto derecho en español, yarn, hilo en español. So we alternate one knit and one purl stitch until that we finish the row. Row, hilera en español. One knit, one purl. The first row is a little laborious, like we say in Spanish, a little laboriosa, but the next rows it will be easier. Okay. We repeat only. This yarn is acrylic yarn, is super teeny. For this I use these needles. To make the waistbands, you can use teeny, you can use teeny needles too. For that, they are a little more stretch. This is important for the rib stitch, that is stretch. Okay, now I must make one knit. Look, the yarn or the needle back and catch the new stitch. Yarn in the front, from the right to the left, we insert into the needle or into the stitch. Yarn involve the needle and we back and we catch this yarn. Yarn into the back, we make the knit. Yarn in the front, we make the purl. I saw blankets with this stitch, the rib stitch, are very nice for the borders because are uniforms, and you can use thick yarn or chunky yarn for that is more easy. I will repeat the last stitch. Yarn into the front and we will make the last stitch, that is purl stitch from the right to the left. We involve, we back and we catch this yarn. This yarn is the new stitch. And this goes out. We pull here a little and we finish the first row. Okay. Hello, my dear Silvers Inc. Thank you to be here. Hello, my dear friend from Japan, Korea. Thank you to be here. Hello, Naga Chandrika. Thank you. Silvers Inc. says you make it look so easy. Thank you, my dear friend. Thank you for your light too. Muchas gracias, chicas. Thank you to be here. Okay, now I will make the second row. I want to give you a tip. Look, when you see these borders, that the stitches are not so open, not so loose, that they are uniform, these needles that I use are correct for this yarn. Because sometimes when you use a thick needle for your yarn, by example, this, it will be so loose, so open that is not nice. So when you see the borders like this, you can notice that these needles are correct for your sorry, that these needles are correct for your yarn. By example, this to make this pattern, I use the needle number 4, and the yarn is a little thick. For this is very good the borders. And look, when you make more rows with the rib stitch, the waistband will be more close or more stretch. You don't see the purl stitch. This is the important, because for the waistband, for the hand too, is perfect this stitch, for that your arms or sleeves are nice. Thank you, my dear Silver's Ink. Thank you, thank you. So we will see if these needles are okay for this yarn. To make always one scarf or blanket or pullover, you must make a little pattern like this with 20 stitches maybe, and you can make some rows to calculate the stitches that you need for make what do you want. If you want one scarf, maybe it's 20 centimeters of wide for 1 meter 20 of long. And one, by example, one blanket, baby blankets can be 90 centimeters of wide for 90 centimeters of long. Okay, we continue. When I finish with the purl stitch in the front is, in the another side is the knit stitch. And when you make the purl stitch in the another side is the opposite always. You make a knit, in the opposite is the purl. And when you make one purl, in the opposite is one knit stitch. Okay, we continuing here. And we beginning immer or always with one knit stitch. Look, one knit, one purl. One purl is like canoten, look. We involve, we back, and we cut this new yarn. This new yarn is the new stitch, and this goes out. Punto derecho, hilo adelante, punto revés, hilo atrás, punto derecho, hilo adelante, punto revés, hilo atrás, punto derecho. Yarn in the front, purl stitch, yarn in the back, knit stitch, yarn in the front, purl stitch, yarn in the back, knit stitch. I told you in the second row is easier the work. In the first row always is a little more work, but in the next rows is better. To make one scarf, maybe from 20 centimeters of wide and 1 meter 20 of long, maybe you need 100 grams or 150 grams of yarn. You can make two shawl with this stitch, it's very nice. Es muy bonito, en español we say. Muy bonito, very nice. I love this color. I don't know what do you think, but this yellow, amarillo en español, I find beautiful. Thank you for your like. Muchas gracias, chicas. Yarn in the front, and we make always the purl stitch, the last stitch. We use even numbers always. We pull a little for that our border is uniform. And look. With the canoten is very nice this, but more rows and the waistband will be more stretch. This is the trick. If you make little rows for your sweater, this will be not so much stretch. Ok, Esperanza Mayorga. Hola Esperanza, ¿cómo estás? Qué bonito nombre. Bienvenida Esperanza. Pampa Zumbar ha dicho hola y Reka Campbell ha dicho hola. Hello, my dear friends. Thank you to be here. Muchas gracias por estar acá conmigo. Thank you. Okay, and now we are in the front because the yarn of the beginning is in the right side. But if you make one scarf, the scarf has not front or reverse, is the same. For this stitch is ideal for one scarf. Look, it's beautiful. Okay, we beginning again. One knit, yarn in the front, needle back, and catch this new stitch or the new yarn that is the new stitch, and this go out. We pull a little for that our stitches are or borders are uniform. From the right to the left, yarn involved, we back, and we have the new stitch, and this goes out. Yarn in the back, un punto derecho, un punto revés en español. En español, rib stitch es punto elástico. Here in Germany they say elastic or elástico, elastán. So it's the same. If you are German, maybe you can understand too. Okay, so we alternate only one knit, one pull. And you can try to make the yarn a little with your in your hand for that the yarn is not so loose. So thank you for your like. I will read your comment when I finish this row. Muchas gracias. Voy a leer tu comentario cuando termine esta hilera. Gracias. So, one knit, one pull, one knit, one pull, one knit, one pull, one knit, and the last is the pull stitch. And we pull a little for that over border. Until now we don't see the border, but I think that is correct these needles because this yarn is teeny and the needles too. Look, you can see nur or only the knit stitches, but in the back you find the purl stitches that are like knotting. Los puntos revés son como nudos en español. Ok, Esperanza, igualmente, y gracias por compartir tu labor. Gracias, Esperancita. Gracias, gracias. A Niña Casiña de Artesa. Hola, excelente trabajo. Hola, muchas gracias, mi querida Niña. Abrazos hasta Brasil. What time is now in Brasil? ¿Qué hora es en Brasil ahora? Brasil es tan grande. Brasil is so big. Beautiful land. Ok. Thank you. Muchas gracias, querida Niña. Hi, what happens when the wool and it's hard to move? What do we do? It happens to me. What happens when the wool and it's hard to move? When it's hard to move, maybe you are using the yarn. Sometimes are different fibras we have from yarns, but maybe it's for the needle that you use. The needles sometimes are a little like wood, sometimes are a little to move. Which needles you use, which material. For this, by example, to me, these from metal are better. This is like plastic, acrylic maybe. It's okay, but I prefer this needle from metal. This is metals too. Look, this is number 5. And the yarn move easy. When it's this, it's not so like the metal. From all the materials, to me, the metal are better, like this or this. From wood, okay, it's a little more work. Ok, vamos a ver aquí quién dice. Thank you, niña. 6:41. Ah, okay. Thank you, my dear. Here in Germany is 11:43. Thank you, niña. Chris, hello. Marlene. Hello, my dear Marlene. Welcome. Gracias. A Maricita, hello. Universal. Oh, Chris, hola. Hello, my dear friends. Thank you. Muchas gracias. So, yeah, sometimes I bought a lot of these needles and sometimes are not so good to knitting. For this, to me, these are better, the metal. These needles maybe have or has 10 years or more. I can use all the life, I think. They are good material. Okay, we begin again. Un punto derecho, lana adelante, un punto revés, lana atrás, un punto derecho, lana adelante, one knit, yarn in the front, one purl, yarn in the back, one knit, one purl. Sometimes the waistbands you can see in your klamotten, in your clothes, you can see how many centimeters have the waistband in your clothes. Sometimes I compare when I make a sweater, I always compare with one sweater, pullover, or vest. How many centimeters has this waistband? Maybe 4 or 5 centimeters. But little to little, you make quick this stitch. You must learn you must practice. Always, every day a little is the time for you. I know that we have a lot of things to make to house, to in home. But always I say, okay, this time is for me, is my present, the time to make something that I like, my hobby. Look, this is, I will make one top, and this, I made this waistband, not so big, so it's not so, how you say, elastico, stretch, because I made little rows, or not little, vinegar, less rows. So here I have, by example, 4 centimeters, because I want that this top is not so, in the waistband, is not so stretched. And always the yarns are together now, look. In 1 second, always I have these problems with the yarns. Okay. So, look. Aquí llamamos ese punto de zanfona 1 por 1. Zanfona. Eso es nuevo para mí, querida niña. Gracias. So, now we can see that the border are good, are not so loose. So these yarn are perfect for, the needles are good for this yarn. We make the knit and pull the stitch and we repeat. But if you want make maybe one blanket, it's better that you use chunky yarn, because if not, you will need 1 year to finish one blanket, because with this teeny yarn and with these teeny needles, you need time to make. So with this little pattern, you can calculate how many stitches you need to make one scarf, one pullover, one vest. The better always that my recommendation to all my people that learn to make knitting is that always you must make one little pattern with your yarn and needles that you will use. Because sometimes a lot of people copy the same numbers of stitches that I make, but they don't have the same needles or the same yarn, and sometimes the works can be little or bigger. So to me, the important is that you make your little pattern and calculate. That is the better. Eso es lo mejor, que tú hagas una pequeña muestra con tu hilo y tu aguja, y allí tú vas a poder ver cuántos puntos necesitas para una bufanda, para una colcha, una manta. I remember when I was a kid, I have a present with one pullover and cardigan with this color. But in this time, maybe I was 8, 9 years old, and was the same color, this yellow, but was not made it in hand, was a machine. You notice schnell or quickly, that is what is machine or what is a person that made these works. If you want to make a business like this, or presents, you can make beanie hats, blankets I made only for my family and friends, because to make a blanket to sell is a lot of work, and you need a lot of yarn too for a blanket, maybe with this teeny yarn and the teeny needles. Hola querida Ana, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenida. So, little to little, you only can see the knit stitch, but if you open in the back, you find the purl stitch. For this stitch is the rib stitch. En español, punto elástico. I will make some rows, and the next week, the next Monday in the workshop, I will show you how we close the stitches. But this week in my workshop, I show you how you can begin to make the cast on, you can make the knit and the purl stitch, and how you close the stitches. And I show you too the increases and decreases. And when you lost one stitch, you can make. By example, what happened if I lost one stitch? I will show you. This is a little difficult with this stitch, but we will try to make. This is the garter stitch, okay? El punto elástico. And I will lose one stitch. The garter stitch is the knit stitch in the front and in the back. The next week I will show you this stitch too. But what happened if I lost one stitch with this knit stitch? This is a little difficult, so we will make now. So, oh God, what happened? I lost one stitch. No, it's not possible. But I lost. What you make with this lost stitch? Okay, you can make it, you can recover the stitch with one hook or with the same stitch. Claro, sure. But I will show you here with this. By example, we have here the purl and the knit. So I must recover with the 2 stitches. These lines, these yarns are the rows that we lost. So I must look where is the first row. First, we catch the stitch. We must try to open. Okay, we find, and this is a purl stitch. Between the purl stitch, we have 1 knit stitch. So I must recover 1 purl and 1 knit 2 when we recover the stitches. So here I see that we have 1 purl, so the next row is 1 knit. And here is this yarn. This is the next row. So from the front, we bring the yarn here. And now I recover 1 knit stitch. So the next yarn, it will be from 1 purl stitch. How I recover 1 purl? The yarn in the front, we insert from the back the needle, and we pull inside of the stitch. And ready, this is 1 purl stitch. Now we must recover 1 knit. So the next yarn is 1 knit. We recover 1 knit. To recover the purl, we make the yarn in the front, the knit. From the back, we catch the stitch, and we bring inside. And we have 1 purl. And now I must see which line is first. Look, this is the last. So here I must make 1 knit. Now the yarn in the front, and we recover 1 purl. And ready. Now you can recover your stitches, and now only you must try to pull for that the work is uniform again. So here we recover, and we can see that all the stitches are correct. So I continue making only 1 knit stitch in every stitch. This is the garter stitch en español, punto Santa Clara, punto Bobo o punto Musco. In español, we have a lot of names for the stitches. And now you don't notice where was the stitch that we recovered. I think it's this. You must pull and try that the yarn are the same. Okay, my dear friends, thank you to be here. Thank you to subscribe and activate the bell. And remember that you can follow me too on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And the next week, we will have 2 workshops to show you the garter stitch. And I will show you, I will make some rows more like this. I will make some rows, and we will close the stitches. Rescatando puntos. Gracias, mi querida Aniña. Muchas gracias to be here. Gracias por estar aquí. Okay, my dear friends, thank you very much. I hope that you have a nice weekend, and we see us the next week in a new workshop. Chao, chao. Muchas gracias. Hasta la próxima.